In this course, we will provide an in-depth overview of Dynamo, a visual programming add-in for Autodesk Revit and Vasari. We will look at the nodes, systems, and interoperability workflows to integrate computational design capabilities into your building information model. We'll start by reviewing the principles of visual programming and logical data flow so we can see how Dynamo handles Revit automation. Then we'll get into data types and how to work with code blocks to more efficiently drive Revit family parameters. Lastly, we will look at how to expand the functionality of Dynamo through Python scripting and how to create and publish custom user objects. We'll be covering all these features plus many other tools and techniques. Now, let's dive into computational design for BIM with Dynamo. Dynamo is an open-source visual programming add-in for Autodesk Vasari and Revit. This open-source tool allows designers to create custom computational design and automation processes through a node-based interface. The visual programming framework provides capabilities for sophisticated data manipulation, relational structures, and geometric control that is not possible using a conventional modeling interface. Combining the fluidity of visual programming and scripting with a tightly integrated building information model, Dynamo exposes a fundamentally new way of working with geometric information within Autodesk Vasari and Revit. As an add-in, you will need to launch either Revit or Vasari to access Dynamo's capabilities. For this course, I will be using Autodesk Vasari Beta 3.0. Once Vasari has launched, you may create a new project file by clicking in either the project browser, the quick access toolbar, or by clicking on the application menu. I'm going to click on the application menu and select File, New, Project. Once inside the Revit document, you can launch Dynamo by browsing to the Add-ins tab located above the Vasari viewport. From the Add-ins tab, you will find the Visual Programming subtab containing Dynamo. One note, if you have an earlier version of Dynamo installed, you may see more than one Dynamo listed. I will be using the Dynamo 0.7 for this course. Click Dynamo to launch. When you launch Dynamo, the first thing you'll see is a new window floating in front of Vasari. Within this window, you can create node-based programs to automate various types of functionality in Revit and Vasari. Dynamo's user interface is made up of a series of menus, drop-downs, and search fields, allowing you to quickly find Dynamo program elements. Use the File pull-down to open Dynamo files, make new ones, save as a new file name, and export an image of your current workspace. Use Edit to copy, paste, create nodes, and create nodes from selection. The View drop-down will allow you to zoom in and out, as well as pan the active workspace. You have options here to change the connector type from curve to polyline, as well as show the background 3D preview in the workspace. My background is currently turned off. By turning it on, we'll see that the canvas or the workspace will update. I'll go back to the View menu and turn the background 3D preview back off. The active workspace is the area where you interact with the elements of your visual program. When you start Dynamo, you are in a blank home workspace. You start creating your visual program here by placing nodes and connecting with wires. The node library located on the left side of Dynamo's workspace is a browser for picking and searching for nodes. The node library is broken out into sections of related nodes. Beginning from the top and working our way down, we have multiple sections or categories containing the various nodes that you will be using with Dynamo. You can also use the search field above the node library to find nodes. Type the name of a node or a term associated with the action you would like to perform. and a list of nodes will be displayed below. I would like to create a point, so I will search using the term point or XYZ. Once you locate the Dynamo node you are looking for, click to add it to the workspace. With this node selected, I can click on the icon at the top right of the workspace to zoom to the current selection. If I would like to remove this node from the workspace, I can select it and from the Edit pull-down, choose Delete Selected. Alternatively, you may want to open a pre-existing Dynamo definition. To do this, you can either use the Open icon here in the toolbar above the workspace, or from the File menu, choose Open. When opening a new file, you'll be prompted to save if you have not yet done so. Notice that Dynamo comes pre-packaged with a collection of sample files. These can be located at the C drive, Autodesk, Dynamo, Core, Samples location. I'm going to click on the Getting Situated with Dynamo file. This file is included in the dataset that accompanies this lesson. The first thing you should notice when opening a Dynamo file is that it does not contain any actual objects or geometry. Instead, a Dynamo file represents a set of instructions for how Revit may automate certain tasks and routines. This set of instructions is clearly outlined in the wires connecting the various elements or Dynamo nodes present in the file. In Dynamo, this collection of elements is referred to as a definition. To see the results of this definition, click on the Run button located at the lower left corner of the workspace. To zoom to the extents of this definition, click on the icon at the top right of the workspace. You will now see the result of the point by coordinates displayed in a watch node. The watch node visualizes the output of a node. A workspace is executed when you press the Run button, or will execute automatically if you activate the Run Automatically checkbox. With the option selected, Dynamo will provide a more interactive experience for the user. Changes made to a node will now be updated in real time. Updates to the workspace can be viewed using the Watch or Watch 3D nodes. Notice that the Watch node provides a glimpse into the data and structure of the node you are viewing. If you would like to view the geometrical representation of the point by coordinates node, type in Watch 3D into the library search field. I will click on Watch 3D to add this node to the current workspace. Connecting the output of the point by coordinates node to the input of the Watch 3D, we can now navigate inside of this viewport from within the definition. To navigate the Watch 3D node, press and hold the middle mouse button to pan, the right mouse button and hold to orbit, and the middle mouse scroll to zoom. Alternatively, you may view the output of the point by coordinates node by turning on the background 3D preview. In order to navigate the background, we'll need to go back to View and select Background 3D Preview, Navigate Background 3D Preview. This can also be accessed by using Ctrl-G. You may navigate the background preview in the same way that you can navigate the Watch 3D node. If you would like to exit the navigation, use Ctrl-G to bounce back to the definition. Once you have updated the workspace, you'll want to go ahead and save your work. You can save the current workspace by browsing to the File drop-down and selecting Save. If you would like to save this definition as a new file, select Save As. You'll notice that Dynamo files have an extension .dyn. This indicates that Dynamo files are saved separately from Revit documents and families. You can clear the current Dynamo workspace by browsing to the File menu and selecting New Home Workspace. Once you are ready to exit Dynamo, you may do so by browsing to the File menu and selecting Exit, or you can use the Alt F4 hotkey. Exiting Dynamo will return you back to the Vasari project document.